Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of Box Office Talk. This is the show where I break down what happened at the box office, see if my predictions for the top 5 were correct, and then make predictions for next week's top 5. So let's get right on into it. Last week I predicted that number 1 would be A Wrinkle in Time, number 2 would be Black Panther, number 3 would be Gringo, number 4 would be The Strangers Pray at Night, and number 5 would be The Hurricane Heist. And guys, I got 0 out of 5 of my predictions right. I knew I was kind of gambling with a few of the picks, but I didn't know I was going to get all of them wrong. So let's just go over what happened. It was a pretty interesting weekend this week, so let's go over number 1, which was once again Black Panther being able to beat out A Wrinkle in Time, making $41 million this weekend, adding to a domestic total of $562 million, once again barely even dropping between its weekends, like about 20 to 30% each time. It's very impressive how well this film is having staying power, and on the worldwide chart it just crossed $1 billion, sitting at $1.078 billion, so that is very fantastic for this film. The fact that it's still like having this strong of a performance and it hasn't really had a huge drastic drop is incredible. While we move on to number 2, which is A Wrinkle in Time, which was a little disappointing. I guess it opened with $33 million this weekend on a budget of $100 million, so it needs $200 million to be considered a success, and this isn't a horrible opening. Like, I could see this movie getting to $100 million with this opening because it has happened before, but it's just like the quality alone and what people have been saying about it, I'm not sure if that'll really carry over, like as well as Black Panther at least. Also, considering the fact that there hasn't been a worldwide release yet. Well, there has, my mistake, but it's very limited, like only like $6 million being added to it, so maybe the worldwide will bump it up a bit, but it's still not going to be a huge money maker that maybe Disney wanted to. I did see this film, and I haven't been able to review it. I've been very busy this weekend. Hopefully I can get that out to you soon, because I have some thoughts on this one. Moving on to number 3, which is The Strangers Pray at Night, which only made $10 million this weekend, but it was only on a budget of $5 million, so it technically just doubled its budget, and it's a huge success. The first Strangers movie, however, opened around $50 million, so the fact that the sequel wasn't able to top that is, I guess, disappointing to some, but they took so long to make this sequel anyways that it's not really that surprising to me. But the fact that they just got their budget back is very good on its own. It's from the same director of 47 Meters Down, though, which is a movie with a smaller budget that made a lot of money, so Johannes Roberts really knows how to work with small budget films, even though they get kind of crap reviews. Moving on to number 4, which is Red Sparrow, making $8 million, adding to a domestic total of $31 million, and on the worldwide chart it is sitting at $82 million, so worldwide is starting to bump up Red Sparrow a little more. The budget, doubling it, would be at $138, so it needs to get to about $56 million more to be able to cross that threshold. Maybe it can, like the worldwide did go up like a little more than I thought, but I'm not so sure considering how it's dropping here. Maybe it'll drop worldwide, maybe we'll get just a little bit close. Not sure as of yet. Like I said, like last week, I guess we'll have to just wait and see on this one. Number 5 is Game Night, making $7 million, adding to a domestic total of $45 million, and on the worldwide chart it is sitting at $69 million. Now it's $5 million away from doubling its $37 million budget, which I'm totally happy with. I'm glad that this film was able to do so because it is such a huge surprise for me. Like, I'm honestly still thinking about how much fun I had with this film, and it's clearly showing that other people are starting to spread the word that this movie is a lot of fun to them, and other people are having fun with it, and that's why the numbers are still going up. It's a little lower than maybe I was expecting it to, considering this movie kind of came out when Black Panther was really crushing it, and I was thinking maybe Game Night would hold off like just a little bit, like make more money, but the fact that it dropped from like, I don't even know how much it made on the first weekend, but it had a very small drop, and this one is also kind of a small drop. Like, that's very impressive on its own. Number 6 is Peter Rabbit, making $6.8 million, adding to a domestic total of $93 million, and on the worldwide chart it is sitting at $119 million. It's about $7 million away domestically from doubling its budget, but it already did so worldwide and made $19 million over that, maybe more so to come, which is very good for the film. Still haven't seen it, but I need to. I know, I have some catching up to do. My weeks are getting busier now because of the school crunch, but it's what happens. Number 7, however, is Death Wish, making $6.6 million, adding to a domestic total of $23 million, and this film has no worldwide total yet, so it's still not crossed its budget of $30 million. Hasn't gotten to the doubling point of $60 million, obviously, too. It's a long way from that, too. I think since Death Wish is so low right now, also, that this film will be, like, completely forgotten about in, like, 2 weeks from now. As well as number 8, which is The Hurricane Heist. Now, number 8 and number 9 are a little interesting, and you'll see why in a second. Number 8, The Hurricane Heist made $3.150 million on a budget of $35, so that's not a good opening. But number 9 was Annihilation, making $3.150 million. So technically that's a tie. They haven't, neither the numbers or Box Office Mojo have released like a thing like differentiating, so it's just kind of stuck there for now. I'm assuming that since Annihilation is lower, maybe they're expecting Annihilation to make a little less. Like I said, like the other times before, this is just like the estimates video, but usually the estimates are pretty accurate. So maybe Annihilation did get this low, but that adds to a domestic total of 26 million on a budget of 40. But like I said, like multiple other times, the Netflix deal helped. So no need to talk about that anymore. Now closing off the video, we have number 10, which is Jumanji, Welcome to the Jungle, making 2.7 million, adding to a domestic total of 397 million, adding to a worldwide total of 934 million. It was only 3 million away from crossing 400 million domestically. It got so close for me to actually confirm it on Box Office Talk, but it looks like it's about to be pushed out of the top 10 for good, which is pretty great on its own, that the fact it lasted from December to March. Like, that's insane of this movie to do that. Now, before we get into the next week's predictions, I need to mention my number 3 prediction, which wasn't even in the top 10. It was number 11, Gringo, making $2.6 million on a budget of I don't know what, but considering it had a lot of huge stars in it, I'm assuming it was pretty big. This movie did not do well at all. There's no worldwide total, just the 2.6 million domestic, which is fantastic for this flop. But now it's time for the fun part, the predictions for next week's top 5. I'm going to predict that number 1 is Tomb Raider, number 2 is Love, Simon, number 3 is Black Panther, number 4 A Wrinkle in Time, and number 5 The Strangers Pray at Night. But what are your predictions for next week's top 5? Leave it in the comments below, and if you got your predictions right for this week, you're going to get a shout out right now. Unless you didn't get it right, then I'm sorry. And as always, thank you guys for watching. Make sure to subscribe. I'm Jackson Fulcher. See you guys next time.